Every business owner suffers from imposter syndrome. That is so real and so normal. So if you suffer from imposter syndrome, don't worry, it's okay. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about what imposter syndrome is and how to overcome it so that it doesn't stop you from making your dreams come true. So imposter syndrome is that feeling that you get when you want to do a project, you want to create something, you want to sell a product, right? And you start thinking, who am I to sell that? Who am I to teach that? Who am I to get that success? That's because we as humans tend to not feel enough when it comes to getting success. For whatever reason, society has told us that getting success is wrong. So when we start getting some kind of success, we're like, ooh, I'm not enough. I shouldn't be getting that. That's bad for me, right? So we start thinking all of these bad thoughts about ourselves, like, ooh, I'm not good enough, right? Like we start talking bad to ourselves and start convincing ourselves that we're not worth to get that success, to get that good thing that's coming to our world. Okay. So that imposter syndrome tends to invalidate a ton of people. I know a lot of people that have great potential, that they're super smart, that they have an amazing offer, but then they start doubting themselves, and that's it. Their business is a failure. And it's not because the offer was bad, it's not because the business was bad, it's because they doubted themselves. So it is up to you to overcome that imposter syndrome over and over again, because it will come recurrently. I promise you, that happens all the time. It is up to you to create the tools, have the tools to overcome that imposter syndrome. Okay, so let's talk about how to overcome that feeling. Okay, the first thing that I want you to do is remember the things that you've accomplished until now. We tend to not celebrate our accomplishments. And that's a really big mistake, because if you look back to your life, you probably have done a lot of good things. Yeah, you probably have done a lot of bad things as well. You failed a lot. That's normal. Concentrate on the good things though. Concentrate on the times that you set a goal and you actually worked towards it and you made it come true, right? Think about your achievements. You graduated, you got a job, and you actually really enjoyed it. For example, that time that you were so excited because you applied for a job and you actually got it. That's something that you should celebrate, because probably a lot of other people were being interviewed, but you got the job, right? So think about all of those accomplishments that you've had in the last few years, in the last few days. Think about the good relationships that you've had with your family, with your friends, with whoever. Okay, I know that there's a lot of negativity, and a lot of you might be thinking like, oh no, I don't have a good relationship with my family. Okay, then look at your friends. Look at the relationship that you have with your friends, right? Stop thinking about the bad things. That's really not the point. You need to start thinking about those positive things in your life instead of focusing and putting all of your energy into the bad things. Okay, that's something that we tend to do. We tend to focus on the bad things instead of the good things, and that's when we fail. Okay, so start writing down, force yourself to write down at least 5 really good accomplishments that you've done in your life. Now, the second thing that I want you to do to overcome the imposter syndrome is to challenge your negative thoughts, your negative self-talk. We are humans, and I've seen this a lot, and I used to be like that. I used to be the kind of person that, I made a mistake, or I tripped, or I did something clumsy, and I would say like, oh, I'm an idiot. That is the worst thing you can do, because the more you say to yourself those bad things, your brain, your subconscious is going to start thinking, yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm an idiot. So I'm just going to keep being an idiot. Right? So challenge that bad self talk. Every time you think or even start saying something bad to yourself, stop yourself and say something good. Okay? For example, I tripped. Before, I used to say, oh, I'm an idiot, right? Like, I tripped. What an idiot, right? Instead, right now, like, I trip and I'm like, that should never happen, right? Or something like that. Just laugh at yourself. Just don't say the bad thing. And when you challenge that bad self talk, you stop treating yourself wrong and you start saying good things to yourself, then your brain will start believing that. Your brain will start believing that you're an amazing person. So I know that this is super cliche, and there's a lot of movies like looking in the mirror and saying, you're amazing, you're a rock star, right? That's actually not that bad. I know when I remember looking at these movies when I was little, and people looking at themselves in the mirror and saying, yeah, I'm good, you're amazing. I would think like, what are they doing? They're ridiculous. But actually, you don't have to look at yourself in the mirror, but yeah, talk to yourself like that. Like, every now and then when I feel like I did something stupid, like I'm an idiot, like whatever, instead of thinking that, I'm like, wait, no, you're an amazing woman, you are really good at what you do, you're an expert, you know exactly what you're doing. Yeah, you made a mistake, that's okay. We're not going to let ourselves get defeated by that mistake because you're an amazing person, right? Like, start talking to yourself in a really good way. Would you say bad things to the person that you love? Probably not, right? So love yourself first, talk to yourself in a really good way. So challenge that bad self-talk. That is prohibited from now on. Do not talk to yourself in a bad way. Now, the third thing that I want you to do is focus your energy in learning, always learning more, reading books, doing courses, and think about that growth that you can get every time you learn something. Now, a lot of us suffer from perfectionism, so we don't launch something until it's completely perfect. Se le va a acabar la batería. Ya. Volvamos a empezar ese. Focus on number 3. No, it's number 4. Okay. The fourth thing that I want you to do is I want you to focus on growth. Okay. Start focusing on constantly learning new things, on getting better, on improving your expertise. So that way, when you're learning something new, you're always celebrating that for yourself and you don't feel stuck because you're excited about that new thing that you're learning, right? Now, another thing that I see happening a lot is that we tend to be perfectionists. So when let's say we're going to launch a course, we're going to launch a challenge, whatever, we wait for it to be perfect in order to launch it. And that imposter syndrome is completely taking control of that launch because you feel, oh no, if it's not perfect, I cannot launch it, or everybody will think that I'm a scam. No, don't wait for things to be perfect. You can launch and learn a lot from the mistakes. It will never be perfect. Think about the first iPhone. Now we're in iPhone, what, 15, 14? It is completely different from the first iPhone. The first iPhone was not perfect, but they launched it, right? They launched it the best that they could, but they knew it wasn't perfect. And they launched it and it was clunky. There were things that had bugs. That's fine because you launch, you improve, you launch again. You improve, you launch again. You improve, you launch again, right? So don't wait for your stuff to be perfect to get it out there. It's okay to launch a course if it's not finished yet. You can finish it along the way. You can launch a product that you think that still needs some improvements, but it will take some time. So stop stopping yourself, right? Stop limiting yourself because of that imposter syndrome telling you, oh, everything needs to be perfect or we're not going to make it. That is just your imposter syndrome taking control. If you launch, it's going to work, right? And if it doesn't, then what can you improve right now to make it work? Okay. So stop being a perfectionist. That's not going to serve you. That's only going to serve your imposter syndrome and make it even worse. Okay. So promise me that you are not going to let your imposter syndrome hold you back from achieving your goals, hold you back from creating your online business. I don't want your imposter syndrome to stop you from becoming a very successful online business owner. Okay. Because it is only up to you to create those tools within yourself to overcome that limiting self-belief, right? So promise me that you're not going to let that imposter syndrome stop you from building a beautiful dream life. So if you found this content helpful and you would like to hear more about creating an online business and what it takes to be successful, make sure to subscribe and share this video with someone that you think might want to hear this message. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.